My first preseason with Seattle, I was with the reserves, and the reserves were playing the academy team. And I remember there's a kind of a long ball that got played over the top, and obviously I was confident in my speed. So I was kind of striding it out, and then all of a sudden I see this kid kind of pace in front of me, and then move in front of me, take the ball. I thought, what in the world? There's not many people that can just pace me in a foot race. So then as play went on, then I started against him trying to go full speed, and there we were pretty close. So that was my first kind of impression of Jordan, like, wow, this kid is fast.
I do remember the academy coaches talking about there's this player, we've been talking all along about this player who's over at Eastside that we want to get over to the Sounders Academy. And his father was our team doctor. So, I think he was getting tired of us talking to him all the time, saying, hey, when's Jordan coming over? And Dr. Morris saying, hey, he's playing with his friends, he likes his coach, he likes his club. So, it was all fun, but when we finally got Jordan here and we saw the talent, we knew this was going to be a big star. And he got an opportunity with the under-20 team, I think, in his first month while he was here. So I think things started coming really quick for him.
What I would say about Jordan is there's so much room to still improve. That's the scary part. Because if he stopped right now, he'd be a very good player. But he can end up being a really great player if those gaps are filled in. And I think with his attitude, his drive, the kind of person he is, I think he has that drive to fill his game out, and he can end up being like top level. But he's already very good. He's a guy who from a young age we all knew would be good, but there's so many of those guys you come across, and many of them don't end up becoming anything. And so he's on the right path, he's at the right club, he's had a great year, and if he continues to build on what he's doing, I think the sky is definitely the limit for him.
Certainly I can't take any credit for Steve Zakuani's development or DeAndre Yedlin's, but I do think that it's an indication that young players pop up in Seattle. You guys have heard me talk about the progression of Chris Henderson to Casey Keller to Kellen Rowe to DeAndre Yedlin to Jordan Morris, that you get these elite players that have popped up with pretty fair regularity over a couple of decades. That's pretty impressive when you look at just the demographics of the city and the size of the city, and I think it speaks to the strength of the soccer culture that's here. When you add to that then high draft picks like Steve Zakuani, were literally the best player coming out of college that year. He rightfully so was included in that list. And then you talk about identifying players from abroad that are very good players, and Freddie Montero was one of the best DP signings in the history of the league. So what's cool about that list with respect to the Sounders is it highlights, I think, all three different avenues by which you can get better, by which you can introduce young players to the system, and the Sounders have been able to use all three to bring good players into the league.
We go through every position and we have certain attributes, and Jordan checks so many of those boxes. He's powerful, he's strong, he has great balance. He can adjust and move and shoot in a short period of time in the box, and those are things you want. He's goal hungry. And a great team guy and character. So he checks all the boxes, and I think when you just look at the amount of chances that he has been a part of this year, he'd even say there was, I could probably have double the goals I have now. And that just shows of, one, his ability to recognize where his strengths and weaknesses are, and you can see it each day he's working on it. And I think his work daily is going to pay off as time goes on.